Alright guys, today we're going to talk about the Wowtac A3. In complete and total honesty, I'm going to say right off the bat, I hate zoomie flashlights. I hate them, hate them. And I'm going to try and do this review as objectively as possible, and leave out my bias towards this kind of flashlight and give you the facts, and then at the end we'll talk about what I think. So, the Wowtac A3 is a new offering. It's an 18650 zoomie that, if you're not familiar with what a zoomie is, it's a flashlight that allows you to change your beam by zooming in and out the head of the flashlight. And it's held just by friction. So that is what a zoomie is. And we'll get into that a little bit more later. So what does this come with? What you're going to get is a teeny tiny USB cable to charge the battery, which we'll show you in a minute. A couple of spare O-rings, and we'll go over the stats real quick. So you can see you have a low mode and a reading mode, which reading I'm assuming they mean like moonlight. 10 and 16, you know, they're so close. There's really no, the human eye wouldn't be able to tell the difference. You really need a pretty big difference in lumens, because the eyes see light logarithmically, so it tends to, you really need a factor of like 2 or 3 to really notice a difference. Too close for my taste. I'd really love to see that reading mode be like, you know, half a lumen or something like that. Your medium 65, high 220, and your turbo 600. One of the things you will want to know is this is only IPX4 waterproof rated. That is due to the zoomie. IPX4 pretty much means you could splash it, and that's about it. It can't be submerged or anything like that. TIR lens, which you're going to always get with a zoomie, and 1.5 meter drop rating. And we might do a couple drops out in the driveway, so maybe you'll see that getting kind of edited in somewhere, hopefully. User interface. This is a side switch, electronic switch, so it will drain slightly as you leave this thing laying around, so that is something to note. Your button is going to turn it on. Long press will cycle between your low, medium, high. Double click to get you to turbo. Of course, single click will get you off. A long click from off will get you to your reading or moonlight mode. And then triple click. Oops, turn on. What? Okay, so to get to turbo or strobe, you got to go to turbo first, then double click again to get to strobe. So it is a 2-step process to get to strobe. I thought it was 3 clicks, but I was mistaken. Alright, so pretty simple user interface, very similar to what Olight uses. Let's take this thing apart real quick, and by now hopefully you're seeing some beam shots and all that. Alright, so you can see edge what you'd expect from the atactical Wowtac family. Very thick wall construction. Your bottom here has kind of a bit of a, just a little button in there, and we have these rechargeable batteries, which you guys probably know I've talked about before. I really dislike them. They are not my favorite. I'd rather just, you know, spend a couple of bucks and get, you know, a really high-end, you know, 3400 milliamp hour battery. But they're there. They're rechargeable. They use that little tiny cable I showed you. So there's that. We're going to take the tube out as well, just kind of show you. You can see the spring in here is a pretty thick spring. You got basically what is passive polarity protection there, which is a little kind of rubber grommet that protects it, so if you stick the battery in backwards you won't have any kind of a short there. Yeah, it is what it is. Alright, so let's put this bad boy together. Back together. I'll show you real quick too. Threads are good. You know, Wowtac does a decent job with threads and all that, so you can see they're nice kind of rectangular threads. It came slightly lubed, O-rings in there as well. So build quality's right where these things have been with Wowtac and Atactical. Nothing unusual there, which is good. Pocket clip is okay. You know, it's really difficult to carry in your pocket because the end is so big. Yeah, that's what she said. But yeah, it is there. You can take it off, and you also have the lanyard hole at the end. One thing too is it does have a mechanical lockout because of the anodized threads. So if you are worried about this thing running your battery, you want to put it in the long storage, Long-term storage, you only need a little quarter turn, and that will lock your light out and stop any parasitic drain from the electronics. Okay, so we mentioned it. I hate zoomies. I hate them, hate them, hate them, hate them. Why is that? Number one, you're losing your waterproof rating. Number two, I just think they have ugly beams, to be honest. You know, like they have that square beam, which is the shape of the LED, and oftentimes, you can't see it here, there will be artifacts from the LED that you can actually see in there, and I don't like that. If you're trying to be accurate with this thing, or maybe you're trying to get details, you know, from a distance, you can lose a lot of that because the LED is actually just literally shining out in a square pattern. Now, you're, of course, you can go anywhere from like a complete and total floodlight out to that square, you know, LED beam, and of course, there's lots of good Goldilocks zones in between, but these lights do appeal to a lot of people because a lot of people like to have that option between flood and throw. But for me, you know, in the end, nothing can be good at everything. So what you have is a light that's kind of throwy, and a light that, yeah, it you know, is also kind of floody too. But in the end, you know, you're just not gonna get that good of intensity as you would with a light specifically designed for throwing or a light specifically designed for flood. So I think you sacrifice quality of both. Now, is that a deal breaker for the average ordinary guy like you? No, absolutely not. Especially if you just want this to be a car light, an emergency light, or something like that. No big deal at all. But for a flashlight snob like me, a guy who's reviewed like literally like 100 plus flashlights at this point, it just irks me a little bit because it's like not the best of either, and there's really no situation where I need to go from flood to throw like that, so it's just not the most incredibly useful thing. You know, there is a bit of an inherent bias there because the market is flooded with garbage zoomies, and this is not a garbage zoomie. This is actually very well put together. So the build quality on this is very good, but you know, in the end, I do have that. I just can't shake it. I don't like zoomies. You know, you really can't carry this in your pocket very successfully. It's just not going to carry the greatest because that end is so big. And plus, one of the things too is if you are using this, and say you are camping or whatever, and it's very easy if you're trying to flood and throw to bang this and have it, you know, be where you don't want it and not quite sure exactly. So it's just like the inaccuracy involved in it, you know, that you can constantly be bumping it or moving it and adjusting your beam, and just the whole thing irks me, guys. I'm sorry, it really does. I understand there's guys who are going to love these. The atactical lights are huge sellers. Whenever I look at my Amazon affiliate sales, I see tons of atactical and Wowtac lights sold. I know they're massively popular, and I wanted to review this and give, you know, kind of an honest review of it out there for you guys, because I know these lights are, and I know you guys don't have a ton of money to throw at gear, so these cheaper items are important to a lot of people. So in the end, let's kind of tie everything together here. In the end, if you like zoomies and you enjoy zoomies, you're going to find this to be a very enjoyable light. It's built well. You know, you have it's very easy to upgrade to a better battery. You know, and it is pretty versatile. It's just that jack of all trades, master of none flashlight. So if that fits your needs, absolutely grab this thing, because at the price they're selling it for, it really is a decent bargain. But for me, to really impress me, this thing would have to have, you know, really good flood and really good throw, and to basically replace those lights that I would be, you know, that for that designated use. But in this case, it's not. It's just too big for the pocket, too small for hardcore use. You know, it's only 600 lumens, which, you know, I know is ample, you know, considering the mag lights were like 50. But it's just tough, guys. You know, the quality's there, the build's there, the ingenuity's there. It's good quality glass, good quality switch, good quality tube. The electronics seem to be good. Everything, you know, I tested it out. The lumens appear to be accurate. You know, it's just, you gotta like zoomies if you're gonna like this light. If you like zoomies, you're gonna like it. If you don't like zoomies like me, you're not gonna like it for no other reason than it's a zoomie.